you grow up in a certain environment. Like I'm from Bed-Stuy, in a certain environment, and you're placed in certain situations. And like I mean, these are just the things, like the natural progression growing up. I didn't live next to doctors or lawyers, didn't live down the block. You know what I mean? I live next to hustlers, and that's the people that I grew up looking up to. That was the things that was most attainable to me. You know what I mean? Like I see the cars and is material, but it was the things that I grew up seeing. I didn't see the law degrees and all the PhDs on the wall. Those are things that I haven't been exposed to. So I didn't really have that, to inspire me. I couldn't see that. Those was my goals, to get a PhD, to go past the bar, and go to law school. Was just the things that I seen, every day in my environment. And those was the things I seen coming up. I started, even in my beginning, I just lived such a rich life, a full life. That my first album came out, I was 26, and I had seen so many things in the street. So my attitude was like, man, I've seen so much, and I don't have anything to prove. I know who I am. I'm a very self-aware person. So when you're self-aware, even when you're dealing with someone's ego, you know when to allow it to, you allow their ego to live in its own space. It's the problem is when you engage that energy, that's when there's a problem. If you engage the ego with your ego, then it's like, okay, now something has to happen. It could keep escalating to a level that can be irreversible. But if you don't engage the ego, if you know how to manipulate or play around with the ego, or
that's
that
weird in
energy,
itself to people,
and you give light back to darkness,
right?
It's very difficult. People don't fear going back to, I like to advance every year, to advance myself, spiritually, mentally, everything. I like to advance myself. I have more fear going back than losing money, because like I said, when I lost money. I've been broke, I've been rich, I've saved and blown bread. It's a lyric,
Yeah. Oh, boy.
But it's real. Money is just a byproduct, and that sounds really cliche, but it's true, of doing a great job. I think again, it goes back to a bit of what Warren was saying as well. Like, it's the discipline as well, the discipline to not get caught up in the moment. Music is like stocks too. There's the hot thing of the moment. There's this hot electro sound, or the hot auto-tune voice, or the hot whatever's new and exciting. And people tend to make emotional decisions based on that. They don't stick with what they know. This is who I am. This is what I do. And then they jump on this next hot thing, and it's not for you. So for me, just having the discipline and having the confidence that and who I am, and if I go into a studio and if I find my truth of the moment, there are a number of people in the world that can relate to what I'm saying, and it's gonna buy into what I'm doing. Not because it's the new thing of the moment, but because it's my genuine emotions. It's how I feel. It's how I articulate the world. And just having the discipline to just be yourself. And I wish I could say we were geniuses and said we're going to start our own company. That's not what happened. In the beginning, we went to every single label, and every single label shut their door on us. The genius thing that we did was we didn't give up. We didn't say, because these guys, we use that what do they know approach. We didn't give up at that point. I think that that was the genius thing we did. We started selling our own CDs, and we built our own buzz, and then the record company came back to us. So now we had a different negotiation. It wasn't the same artist label relationship. Now we retain ownership in our own company, and it was the best thing for us. It's affirmed to me that instincts is really important in business. I didn't go to any proper business school or any super follow any manuals like the Record Business 101 or anything like that. I just pretty much followed my instincts. And he just reaffirmed that for me, that, you know, your instincts are very important to you. I'm a person that believes everything that happened to you in life, it happens for to shape you as a person. You know what I'm saying? Every struggle, every challenge, everything that's placed in front of you is to see how, you know, strong a person you're gonna become. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I truly believe in that. So I just, like any problem that you had, like in your life, you look back and you thought like, I'm never ever gonna get over this. This is the worst thing ever, huh? I'm gonna go on from here. You look back, they all past you. You know what I'm saying? They all behind you. So, you know. I really started rapping like 9 years old, but my first album, but I never really took it serious. It was more of a hobby, and it was such a gift to me. Like, it was a gift. Like, it wasn't really hard for me to you know, create raps. It wasn't hard for me to write rhymes and things like that. This is when I used to write. Like, in my earlier days, I used to write every day, every single day, in the kitchen, banging on the table. My mom's like, please, get us a break back here. I had this green notebook. I used to just write every single day. But I was just writing. I wasn't writing with the intentions of having a record deal or anything like that. It was just something that I like to do. It was more of a hobby. So it was, then I wasn't really just trying to get a record deal. So I would run the streets after that, then I just stopped writing. So then I would still get all these ideas. I have all these ideas, and I still make songs, but now I'm making these songs in my head. But so it still wasn't a serious thing to me. Well, to my man Jazz, who was also from Marcy, he got a record deal with EMI, and they gave him some paper. It was like, hey, he got 300,000. Like, back then, this is like 88 or something. I'm like, for real? But then that thing soured quick. Him and EMI, they started going through that. I was like, man, I'm not feeling that. So it took a while. But when I really started getting serious, my first album came out in '96. And it was like, and I had to put the album out myself. Nobody would sign me. They thought I was terrible. Every single record, I went to every single record label. They was like, this guy's terrible. He's nothing. That just goes to show you how far the A&R was off. Like, it was these guys, and they used to go to Bentleys and had electric blue shirts on. And how you know about hip hop? And what do you know about? What are you talking about? Yeah, the egg and the nest and the whole everything just wasn't representative of hip hop. So I'm inspired by, you know, life and all sorts of things. You can say something right now and it would inspire me to write a song or something to happen. You know, most kings just happen to be inspired by Basquiat drawing. You know, the drawing, and you had most young kings get their head cut off on the bottom. And I looked at that and I was like, it's powerful. You know, just the statement in itself, you know, lends itself for a song. Song starts inspired by Basquiat. My chariot's on fire. Everybody took shots, hit my body up, I'm tired. And then it's just, they build me up to break me down, to build me up again. They like, Hov, we need you back so we could kill your ass again. You know, it's like this thing, this love, hate thing that the world has with success, period. It's complex, right? And it's deceiving at times, you know, because people think the two equate.
Yes.
You know, to each other, and they don't, right?
You have a lot of money.
It's up, yeah.
And
I have a lot of happiness, but that doesn't mean that the two equate to each other.
Has your happiness risen at the same amount as your bank account?
No, that's the thing. They don't
equate, or they're not tied in any way.
They're not tied to each other.
Wow.
I mean, it allows you freedom and it allows you to go places where you can smile and look at the sunset and things like that. That's what you choose to do and you enjoy to do.
Right.
But there are a lot of people with tons of money who are unhappy because either they become a prisoner of their money, right, or they become so consumed with getting money that they don't allow time for happiness.
Right.
Life is about balance, right? You have to have some type of balance. You have like time for work and it's time for play. And if you don't allow these two things to coexist, you have an imbalance of one or the other.